Lesson 10.6, Distance and Midpoint Formulas. Today we will learn how to calculate the distance between 2 points on a coordinate plane by using the distance formula, and we will also learn how to find the midpoint of a line segment, that is the middle between two endpoints, using the midpoint formula. Okay, we'll work on the distance formula first. The distance, d, between any 2 points, x1, y1, and x2, y2, can be determined by using the following formula. Distance equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. This is one of those formulas that you will commit to memory. In order to help you memorize this formula, we will write it each time we calculate the distance between 2 points. Okay, let's practice. Find the distance between the 2 points. The first thing that I will do is I will label the coordinates. 5, 3 will be point number 1, so I will label it x1 and y1. And then 1, -2 will be point number 2, so I'll label this one x2, y2. Okay? Alright, so first step is write the formula, so I'll do that. Distance equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, the next step is to substitute into my formula. So let's do that. Distance equals the square root of x2 is 1 minus x1, which is 5 squared, plus y2, which is -2, minus 3, which is y1 squared. Now I need to simplify. Distance equals the square root of 1 minus 5 is -4, -4 squared is 16, plus -2 minus 3 is -5, -5 squared is 25. Okay, simplify one last time. Distance equals the square root of 41. Use your calculator to determine the square root of 41. We'll round to the hundredths place. So the square root of 41 is 6.4 units. That is the distance between those 2 points. Alright, I want you to try number 2 on your own. Write down the distance formula, substitute the values, and simplify until you come up with the distance. Pause the video now and work on number 2. The distance between the 2 points is 6.32 units when rounded to the hundredths place. Please check your work. Okay, number 3 is a little different. Let's read it together. Find the possible values of A if the distance between points 2, A and -6, 2 is 10. Note, distance is given. D equals 10. That's already a given. What we're missing is y1. We're missing one of the coordinates of one of the points. We will use the distance formula to solve for A. So first step, write down the formula, please. Distance equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared, and I never make the square root symbol long enough. Okay, here we go. Let's substitute everything that we have. Okay, we know that the distance between the 2 points is 10, so we'll plug that in there. 10 equals, and let's substitute everything else that we know. All right, so x2 is -6 minus 2 squared plus y2 is 2 minus a squared. Okay, in order to begin this problem, and to remember that our goal is to solve for A is actually within two grouping symbols. It's within parentheses and it's within the square root symbol. So the first thing I need to do is get rid of that square root symbol, and the way that I do that is I need to square both sides of the equation. Okay, so let's do that. 10 squared is 100. 100 equals -6 minus 2 squared plus 2 minus a squared. I'll bring that down. Okay, next step, I notice that I can simplify this expression, so let me do that. 100 equals -6 minus 2 is -8 squared is 64 plus 2 minus a squared. I can subtract 64 from both sides, so 36 equals 2 minus a squared. Okay, now I can get rid of the other grouping symbol by finding the square root of both sides. So we'll do that. The square root of 36 is positive -6 equals 2 minus a. So let's solve for both scenarios. 6 equals 2 minus a, and -6 equals 2 minus a. And as we solve on both sides here, subtracting 2 from both sides, 4 equals -a, which means that -4 equals a. And here, as I subtract 2 from both sides, I have -8 equals -a, which means that +8 equals a. So my two possible values for a are -4 and 8. Okay, let's go on to the midpoint formula. Let me define midpoint for you. The midpoint is the point on a segment that is equidistant, that is equally distant from each end point. And it can be found by using this formula. Now, sorry, I forgot the parentheses, but your new ordered pair for the midpoint of a line segment can be found by using this formula. M equals x1 plus x2 over 2. That's your new x value. And then y1 plus y2 divided by 2. That's your new y for your midpoint. Okay, I have one example that I'll work out with you to find the midpoint of this line segment. Okay, so here we go. The midpoint equals, and again, this is going to be an ordered pair. So we'll do x1 plus x2 over 2. So x1 is 12 plus x2, which is -8 over 2. And then we'll do the same with the y's. y1 plus y2, 3 plus 3 over 2. And let's simplify. My points. 12 plus -8 is 4, divided by 2 is 2. And then 6 divided by 2 is 3. So my midpoint is 2, 3. Okay, extra practice tonight. I want you to do quite a few problems. Using the distance formula, you will find the distance between 2 points. You will also find possible values for a missing coordinate given the distance. So I want you to do 3, 6, 9, 12, 14, and 17 on this page. And then use the midpoint formula to find the midpoint between these two endpoints of a line segment. Do number 2, number 6, number 8, and number 14. Write down any questions you have. We will continue practicing distance and midpoint formulas tomorrow. God bless you. Have a great night.